Kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Indio in California, where it is a very cool 114 degrees outside. But before we get onto that subject, how has your fun Friday been? Did you find stuff to laugh about today for your mindset? Did you get your projects finished for the day so you have a clear desk so you can enjoy Labor Weekend? Enjoy a long weekend this weekend with Labor Day, for those of us in the States. And what wacky things did you get up to today for part of the wacky fun Friday? Like I said, it is a very cool 114 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Celsius, that's somewhere in the 40s. I totally forgot to look before I came online. I think it's like around 40, I think it's like low to mid 40s. I think. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the comments later on. But inside, yes. So I put it isn't. What is it? It isn't hot, is what I put there. But technically, outside it is like an oven out there. It is 114 degrees. Now, my friend Casey had a brilliant way of describing what it's like outside. Although I can't use the wet towel portion because it's a dry heat out there. But he described it, if you want to know what it's like, he said, when he visited Phoenix last weekend, he said, take an oven, set it onto the cleaning cycle because it's the hottest temperature it can get to, then put a dryer inside the oven, turn that on high, and then you put a wet towel in there, let it sit for a bit, then open it up, and that's something like what it's like outside. But in this case, without the wet towel, because it is actually a dry heat out here today. So I thought that was a brilliant way to describe what it's like outside. But yeah, it's a very cool 114 degrees outside. But inside, yes, it is 89 degrees here in the main living area, and in the bedroom it's at 92. And it's all because of this little piece here, which actually, this piece here was actually attached to the top of the compressor, and the compressor got too hot, and either this was a loose connection on top of the, we can't figure out which it is, either this is a loose connection on top of the compressor and it finally fell off, or the compressor got too hot and blew it off. But this little thing here is what stopped that from working, my AC unit from working. So I managed to get hold, I told you yesterday about the saga of trying to find somebody to come and look at my AC, right? So called the first guy. He says, not doing any jobs till after the weekend. Another place, you got to bring the RV in here, but we have a 2-week wait list. And so the first guy, who was the mobile guy, asked him for referrals. He said he doesn't give them out, which to me is a big, huge mistake on his part. Because one of the things that I do in business is that whatever business I'm working at the time, I find out who are my peers. I get to know them, because sometimes peers will be able to help you out if you are stuck on an issue, or they may have a specialty. They may be in the same industry as you and may have a specialty that you don't have. There has been times that I have referred clients to other travel professionals because they have an expertise that I didn't have. I've had other travel professionals refer me their New Zealand clients because they don't know New Zealand, but I did. They knew I did, so I would help them out in those situations, and then the client would then go back to the original agent. So to turn around and say that you don't give out referrals, but then when I give out referrals, I give 2 to 3 different referrals, so that give them 2 to 3 different names to go to, because if I turn around and say, oh, go to this person, they're great, blah 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 blah, and it turns out that their personalities clash, it's going to reflect back on me. So if I give them 2 to 3, they then get to choose out of those 2 to 3 which ones they want to work with, who meshes with them better. So not giving out referrals, especially in a situation where there's a lot of RVing going on right, and a lot of people in RVs right now. Somebody has a broken air conditioning, which in this climate right now here in Indio is critical, because we're in an extreme heat warning. It's meant to get to 117 tomorrow and Sunday. And for him to turn and say, oh, I don't give out referrals, it's sort of like, well, what am I going to do over the weekend? I have one working AC. And right now, and last night when I called him, it was almost 100 degrees inside the RV. And it was only 106 outside, so there wasn't a lot of difference. But and so then I called the place, so this guy wouldn't give me any referrals. So then I called the place that didn't have mobile service, but at the time I didn't know that, and got a really nice guy there called Greg, and he turns around and says, well, we can't actually take anybody for 2 weeks, we're booked solid. He said, but let me give, and I said, well, I can't bring it in anyway. I said, because I don't have any other vehicle, it's my one and only vehicle, and I live in it full time. He said, then let me give you a couple of names of mobile repairs in the area. And he gave me the guy that came out today and another one. And I called the first guy, he had availability to come out today. He came here, he was here 2.5 hours. He even went off at one point to an RV repair place he used to work for, and went through their broken air conditioners out in the backyard of the thing and found a replacement one of these, because he said it's only going to be a temporary fix, you still have to get the whole unit replaced. That was a brand new unit almost a year ago, so thankfully warranties. So my mechanics in San Diego are getting a call to say, hey, last year on this date you replaced my unit and it's already fried. I need another one, can you please order it? Because there's actually like a 4 to 6 week backlog on the actual units, and 2 to 4 weeks on parts, because RV AC parts are in short supply right now. So Walter came out, Walter's RV repair, he's mobile, he goes to the different campgrounds and stuff. He was awesome. He even gave me pictures to send to my mechanics in San Diego showing this bad piece. He even gave me the piece so I could actually physically show them as well as the pictures. And he got me up and running. It's a temporary fix, but right now my bedroom is at 92, my living area is at 89, which is brilliant, because RVAC units typically run anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees cooler than what the air is outside. So right now it's 114 degrees outside. Inside here we're looking around 90 degrees, so that's 24 degree 24 degree difference. So I'm ahead of the game. Which means that I'm going to be able to survive this weekend, provided that this one keeps working. But Walter said, he said, put it on first thing in the morning, before it gets too hot, before the heat starts getting up there. He said, let it run through the hottest part of the day, then turn it off at night. Because last night, after talking with a friend of mine who's also an RVer, she said, why have you got that one running when it's just putting out hot air? And I was like, oh yeah. So when I turned it off, we actually opened the bathroom door, which closes that hallway off, because that's the shower there. Behind this wall is where the toilet and hand basin is. So we opened the door, which effectively closed that area off, turned that AC unit off, and we sat and we were talking, and we talked for 2 hours last night. And some of my friends will start laughing because they know me when I get on the phone. But you get the right person on the phone, and time does not matter with some people. And so she'd get me to go and check the thermostat every now and again. The bedroom would stay at 101, but out here it dropped down to 92 in the 2 hours we were talking. I went from this, the living room area went from 101 down to 92 over 2 hours with just the front AC running. This one off and the door closed. And the bedroom went from 103 down to 101 during that time. And that was after the sun had set. So it was completely dark outside. And so I basically had stuff set up to camp out here on the couch, ready to go. I didn't want to disturb Zeffie. She spent her night in her crate, I think. I know she didn't come to bed with me. I woke up at like 5 o'clock this morning and she was curled up in her crate. She knew where the cool spots were. But so I've got this working now. Thank you everyone for your prayers. It was not dirty coils. And I said, okay, if it's not dirty coils, I'm looking for a loose connection. Yeah, we had a burnt out loose connection. But I was hoping it would be a loose connection you could just plug back in and would be on the go again, but no. But he had this whole thing. I got to see all the inside, the control box, everything on how it all worked and all of that sort of stuff. And if some of you saw my earlier one this morning, you would have seen it all hanging down. And yeah, and so I got it all back up and working. And that one's actually running colder than my front one is. And he said, when you're up on the roof, he said, you can hear this which means that one of the fans, and there's 2 fans in the AC units, could be hitting the housing of the AC. So he said, so that one, he said, I don't want to take it apart right now because, he said he didn't want to take it apart right now because it's working. He said, but when they look at replacing this one, he said, get them to check the fans on that one and make sure they're all balanced and everything. So, yes, so, well, technically it is hot outside. It is still around the 90s inside, but it feels so much better. I've got a fan out here running because I've been working on projects today. I've got a fan running in the bedroom. The Reflectix is doing its job by keeping it even cooler in here than it should, than if I didn't have the Reflectix on the windows. So it is just amazing right now. I'm a very happy camper right now, and just praying that this unit here lasts through the weekend. I keep checking ahead to where I'm going next and watching the temperatures and stuff. So right now we're looking good. But what was the other thing I had? Oh yeah, and so the other thing that I'm looking for is I need your help. I'm looking for projects to do. As you all know, I have a variety of businesses. Travel is non-existent right now. Genealogy, I think everybody's sitting at home doing their own genealogy because they've got time off work right now, or they're not interested in looking at their genealogy right now, which is okay. But I also have a marketing consulting business. So I'm looking for businesses that are getting a start. They need to start looking now at gearing up for their holiday runs, for their Christmas cards, their holiday cards that they send out to their clients and stuff. And we can actually get that done for them. Once we have the initial consultation for them, we can get them up and running and have it all automated and everything for them in a short amount of time, which would save them a lot of time and a lot of money. Because how many businesses out there do you know where the secretary is left to the last minute, like the first week in December, to say, oh, we've got to do holiday cards, and then that secretary is sitting there getting all the other secretaries and sitting there, their hand writing out these cards and everything else. But what if you could pick one card, put it into a system, scan the signatures of everybody that you want on the card, we put them onto the card, we then upload the mailing list, we tell it we want it to go on this particular date, it's done. That quick, that easy. So we are looking for businesses that want to get prepped now to send out holiday cards. And we're looking at sending out the holiday cards around the end of November to make sure they get there in time for all the religious holidays that are happening in December. We know that Hanukkah is happening towards the beginning of December, Christmas towards the end of December. So we want to make sure we capture everybody's holidays. And so we're looking at sending it out mid to late November. So it's a good time to get your cards out. We've also got Thanksgiving coming up in November for the Americans. For the if you want to send Thanksgiving cards to the Canadians, to Canadian companies and the clients and everything else, their Thanksgiving is in October, and we need to be talking right now to get their cards up there because it is taking longer for cards to get across the border. So we want to allow the extra time so that those arrive in time. So if you're looking at sending Thanksgiving cards, we need to talk now, especially if you have Canadian clients, but we also need to talk now if you've got clients for the US Thanksgiving, because we're going to get those up and running as well. And again, same thing. And we can even put them both on the same campaign. So we can put the Thanksgiving card for the US along with the US holiday cards, and then we can have a Canadian Thanksgiving card along with a Canadian holiday card. And we can put them on the same thing so that you just set it up once and it will automatically go out for the Thanksgiving dates as well as the holiday dates as well. And if you wanted to, we could even throw a New Year's card in there, and we've got lots of ideas floating around. So I'm looking for businesses who would like to set an easy campaign for the holidays and also include a thank you card to their clients for Thanksgiving. So we're looking for Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holidays happen in December, so that we can send them out. And if you want, you can even send me a birthday card because my birthday's in December. Just kidding. But no, my birthday really is in December. But I'm just kidding about sending me a birthday card. But I do love birthday cards. But yeah, so we can completely automate the whole system, and you just got to upload the database once for the US, once for Canada, 2 separate campaigns, and we can get those cards going out for you automatically. So we put a little bit of work in now and fix it, forget it, and it's done. So if you are looking for doing holiday card and even family holiday cards, we can do the same thing with those as well. If you have a huge mailing list, or even just have a mailing list that you want to send out and you don't want to sit down and handwrite everything, like getting writer's cramp writing all those addresses and everything else, we can completely automate the whole thing for you. So private message me about that and we can go over some of the packages we have. that are available that we can do, and we can get you all organized now, so when you come to your holiday rush later on, you don't have to worry about your Christmas cards or your Christmas letters. We have a way to do that too. So have a super fantastic, that's it from me for now. So have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your fun Friday. I was trying to remember what day it was. Stay cool out there. I know that for Southern California, Arizona, and I can't remember where else, there is a huge, massive, excessive heat warning. I know here at the campground we're meant to be up 117 degrees. Although when I last looked at the temperature for outside, it said it's 114, but it feels like 121. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go walk over to the laundry, and the laundry's just in the building like 5 sites down. I'm like, I would be dripping wet by the time I got there and need to change of clothes. But I need to do my laundry first before I get a change of clothes. So probably going to go first thing in the morning when it's cooler, get all of that done. I have training videos to watch this weekend. I got a training class coming up on Monday morning, and I have training videos to watch before that. So I'm going to be working on that this weekend and working on some card designs as well, designing some cards to send out to people. So you may be the recipient of one of those cards. If you would like to receive one of my really cool cards, private message me. I will send you a link where you can just fill in your address and information, and you will get one of my special cards. So have a super fantastic, sparkling evening and enjoy the rest of your fun Friday. Get ready for the weekend. If you are celebrating Labor Day this weekend, if you are in the US and have got Labor Day weekend this weekend, have a great weekend. If you're in any area that's got excessive heat warning, please, please, please be careful out there. Drink lots of water. I feel like I'm about to float away. This is an 18? Yeah, this is an insulated bottle. It's 18 ounces of fluid. I designed the cover on it. I don't know if the light's all wrong. There we go. 2020 vision beyond what you can see. And there's a picture of the Southern Alps in New Zealand with the road going up to it. And this year's all about stepping out in faith. I will tell you this. I came up with this at the beginning of the year, had no idea what was going to be coming my way. But it was beyond what I can see. But I know there is fantastic rewards the other side of those mountains. And this is my constant reminder. It's an 18-ounce thing. I have other containers sitting in the refrigerator full of water that I go and fill this up with so it stays nice and cold, so it's never at room temperature. And I usually drink water at room temperature, but for the last few days I've been drinking refrigerated water and guzzling it, and keeping my containers full so that I can rotate through them. And I've been making, and I don't have an ice maker in my freezer, but I do have an ice tray. I've been making lots of ice and dropping it in Zeffie's water every now and again, and she'll go take it out, play with it, crunch it, and then she'll leave like about this much sitting on the floor, and you walk across it. Oh, that's cold and wet, but oh, that feels really nice. So I was actually thinking I might even do a foot bath later on with some Epsom salts and some ice in there, and just cool off that way as well. And put a little bit of maybe put some oils in there too. I don't know. I keep toying with the idea. Don't know if I want to do it tonight though. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Get myself a little foot ice bath with some Epsom salts. But anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Friday. Cheers. I'm off to have some more water. Heck on it up.